Hello! How is everyone? Happy Monday. We are back. Yesterday was a fantastic time. You got fired. Oh no. Excited to watch streams all night. Well, I will do my best to be the optimal zone out and not think about things rectangle here. I'm gonna be super awesome. We're gonna make things happen on the screen. It's gonna be great. I'm gonna doodle. Everyone loves some. Oh gosh, my doodle holder. Okay, holds the pen. I don't think it does anything except. Oh, wait. Rotate. What does this do? Oh, it holds different little pin nubs. It looked like it was just a little holster, but it actually is a container. Look at that, multifunctional. Incredible. It is not magnetic at all. It's just a piece of plastic containing other pieces of plastic, presumably. Yesterday was the inaugural episode of OwlQuest, which was wonderful. That was myself, GQ, Turtle, Day, Germdove, all playing a round of Dungeons & Dragons, run by our very own Al, who did an excellent job of running the show. I had a blast. My understanding is everyone else did as well. It was very fun. And with any luck, that will continue most Sundays going forward for a while. Scheduling is always a bit of an issue, but it sounds like everybody's pretty available for the foreseeable future. In non-D&D streams, we're working on our very own Paperlight. The early Paper Mario games are some of my favorite RPGs, and we're kind of trying to capture that magic a little bit, kind of poke around, see how it works, and how we can improve on that. So we have a very basic proof of concept for movement that includes rotating flat sprites. And now I'm starting to work on basic text boxes, and there is a key thing I want to set up with that. Well, I guess a couple of key things. We're going to talk about what all that is. The primary goal is we want to be able to build a system. Oh no! We lost him. We want to build a system that makes it very easy to build out dialogue. So we're gonna load up a lot of work early on to build this robust system, so that it's very easy later good. So it's very easy later to just like basically type out a few lines of text and boom, it's in the game. We want it to be as easy as possible to make that happen, which means a lot of work up front. So what we've got so far is a basic, let's see, what all do we have? We have the global UI container scene. This is an auto load, which means that it's available on whenever the game is running. This scene is available, and we can show and hide things all the time. No, kitty cat's fine. 9 lives and lands on feet, everything else. Within this UI scene, we have a node called our dialog box, which I've created, which contains just this, a rich text label that has a theme to give it this rounded border and padding and some text. Now, things get tricky very quickly. I'm gonna set this here. I've got a system set up where I can basically set the text. So I can just say, hello, this is a text box. And when this loads, that is what it will throw in as the text. But you'll also notice it's revealing one character at a time. That was a little bit of code to make that happen. What that is just every frame, I just increment a value, and text boxes in this engine have a nice little property called visible characters. That is the number of characters it will show. By default, it's -1, which is just show everything. Show all the characters in the text box. That's the default behavior. But I can set that to like, just show me the first 3 characters, the first 4 characters, whatever. And so by just slowly incrementing this value, it slowly reveals all the text, which is what we want. And then later on we can add things like hold down the button to speed up the text, maybe option menu for changing the default text speed, anything like that. We can just change that in this one little block. Perfect, great, love it. Now, the other thing we can do with these text boxes is this, and I love this. This is something known as bulletin board code, or just BB code. Old forums sometimes supported this format, which is you would have a special property you can apply to text. You can tell it, all right, make this text shaky, and then when to end that. So we're gonna have, hello, this is a text box, test, that's gonna be shaking, and then test 2, which is not gonna be shaking. And we can show that here. Hello, this is a text box, test 2. Now, if you were very observant, you would notice that it just kept on going, revealing characters through this. Even though it's going through all of these characters, this whole number of revealed characters here, it doesn't factor this in by design. And that's usually good because, I don't want it to take an extra 7 units of time where it's just sitting here after the word text box, waiting to get through these invisible characters before it starts writing again. That would be not good. However, that complicates matters just a little bit for some other things that I'm trying to do. So there's lots of different BB code things we can do. We can make the text wave, we can make it rainbow color, we can make it flash, whatever. And the most important thing that this engine lets us do is create our own custom effects. So we have control over the offset of the location, the color, the opacity, probably some other things. I don't know, what else do we have? Color, yeah, the offset, outline, whether or not it's outlined. I think we can kind of rotate it in weird ways, make it bounce around, whatever we want to. So we can build formulas that do that for us, and we can add those into the list of effects that can be interpreted. So as long as we're just doing things like moving the text around, it will just offset or recolor from where it normally would be. So like, it's still in the same spot, it's just wiggling a little bit. That's fine. What we cannot out of the box do is make it so that this doesn't appear at all. That is to say, we could make it invisible, but then there'd just be a big blank spot. We can't move test 2 over in addition to that without doing something else, like cheating the system a little bit. So that's noteworthy. The thing I really want that is a very big staple in Paper Mario-like RPGs is being able to pause the text temporarily. Hello, Sourdough. Welcome in. Now, Thousand Year Door already has text dumps available of its whole script. Oh, Willow. Willow, thank you for giving Sourdough a gift sub. Wow. Sourdough, what a warm welcome. One of us. Man, I should just try saying hi in random chats more often. Let's just see what happens, just cast a wide enough net and see what happens. Brought Sourdough here because she's hoping to make video games. Wonderful. This is not going to be a great introduction to the process. So heads up. I'm going to be doing something that I think is very fun. And I love solving these tiny problems. But in the grand scheme of things, trying to make a text box pause for a predetermined amount of time is a weird problem, and it's difficult to visualize. But hopefully you'll be able to get something out of this and have a little bit of fun. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and plug my drawing pad in for later before I forget. So otherwise, I'm going to start trying to draw and then wonder why it's not working. So in Thousand Year Door, you've got this very common thing where the text will write, pause for a bit as if the character is taking a breath, and then write. And I think that's very cool. It makes you can add a lot of life to the actual writing. Where's Second Kitty? Oh, there he is. Yeah, he's here. This one doesn't have very good pathfinding yet. Oh, nice. I have been making games, well, I guess since math class in high school, when they made us get the graphing calculators, TI-83 Plus. One of the chapters in the inch-thick instruction manual for a calculator, mind you, it has a massive instruction manual. One of the chapters was about the calculator's basic programming language, and I'm sure it was meant for things like, program in formulas and stuff. But of course, everyone just loaded a bunch of games on those, and I started wondering, I like video games. Can I do that? And I made some of the worst coding decisions, but technically had a functional sort of game. Not very fun, not very expansive, but gosh, I just really dug into that. And basically since then, for the past 20 or so years, I've been trying to make video games on anything that I have the option to make them on. For a while, before I learned how to program, I tried making video games in Microsoft Excel. Functional health bars and everything, using the bar charts. Getting RNG was a little bit... It was an older version of Excel. It was weird. Anyway, I've made a few actual games in JavaScript. I've got a title on Steam. And now I'm actually working in actual engines like Unity and Godot. I'm cautiously optimistic about Godot, but I have a long history with making games. It is just part of who I am, and I really enjoy it. And as I've mentioned many times, making a video game is just solving a million tiny problems. And our first tiny problem is text boxes. So we can do things like Shake. This format is pretty interesting, and I'm gonna see if I can find an example. Yeah, here we go. I don't even know what all this is gonna do, but this is in the documentation for Shake. We can apparently do like complex, like, I don't know if you guys can get a good view of exactly what we're looking at here. So let's just have hello and then shake test. It allows us to pass in parameters even. Connected, level 5, what? Sure. Okay, well that just looks like it just already did, whatever. Rate controls, text, if connected is 1, glyphs with ligatures, okay. I don't have any of those. If connected is 0. Okay. Well, interesting. So what we want, what I would love to have, and I don't know how we're gonna get this, is I would love to have, oops. Right, there's media buttons on this drawing pad. That's weird. I would love to have something like this. Pause. Oh, and actually you'd have to take the space out of here. So hello, test 1, pause, test 2. I would like it to actually wait for a bit there. Now, the issue is using the built-in, even though we can create custom effects, like pause, they are run every frame for every letter within that segment. So if I don't explicitly end the tag of pause, it will assume it'll just throw it in as though it's at the very end. So it's equivalent to, you know, just like as though we're just tagging on an extra little, okay, we finished. And so it will be applying that effect to everything here. So whatever I do in the code for pause, it has to be prepared for any of this stuff, like even that. It has to be prepared for running it on every letter, and sometimes running it multiple times per letter. So I'm not 100% on board with using custom effects. I tried a little snippet and it almost works, except, and really this is such a minor thing that I could work around by just remembering how to do it, but I'm not going to. It only runs when the character inside of the tag is drawn. Now, what does that mean? If I did this, hello, pause, I would expect to see hello drawn, then the period, then for there to be a pause, and then for the remainder to render. You would expect this to pause before the period is rendered, but that would not actually happen, depending on how we do it. Because it's gonna run this pause code when it starts rendering things after the tag. So it's gonna render that period and then pause. And I don't think I want to do that. So one thing we could do, well, there's a few things we can do. And I don't like any of them. None of them do exactly what I want. The thing I tried last time was basically create a really hacky block of code that effectively just says process this block only for the first character after the pause tag, which in this case here, that would mean it would happen after the period is drawn, which, hey, I wanted to pause before the period. That's why I put that there. Maybe we can make that work, though. Maybe that's possible. And then we can actually ignore this and just let it do its thing, and that kind of works. We get hello, test, test. So, you know, there's a pause there. So I think it's viable if we can get it to pause when we want it to, which is not there. So I think what we would need to do is maybe, can we tell it initially, don't draw the character inside the pause tag. I think that, nope, it's still drawing it. What's the, all right, let's check the documentation here. Visible. If visible is set to false, the character will be hidden. All right, so am I undoing that with anything? I wonder if visible characters counter. Oh, that would be really interesting. That would be really interesting. Let me try something dumb. Just show all. Nope, it's still showing everything. I want to see, is this overriding the behavior of this? Let's, I guess, just do this. False, false. Okay. Not exactly what I wanted. Okay, okay, so that's actually hiding it. Even though, okay, let's do this. No, because it's going to be overridden. All right, so here's my thought about what might be happening. We've got two different things at play here, and I'm wondering if they're interacting in a weird way. So the code is first saying, okay, every so often, start drawing the next character. And then wait a bit, and then draw the next character. And then wait a bit, draw the next character. Wait a bit, draw the next character. That's fine. And then once it gets to the paused character, which will represent that with gray, sure. Which we start with a period. In my code for rendering the text, I'm immediately saying hide it. Do not show it at all. But then I'm setting number of visible characters to a specific value, and I'm wondering, is that when I tell it only render the first 6 characters, is it saying, oh, I better re-show this? Is that perhaps what's going on here? I am interested in char fx transform visible property and how it interacts with visible characters. The appearance of text with animation. Because one other option we have is, instead of doing this, do all of the text visibility changes with is visible. I feel like that might be a little bit rough. Let's see here. Oh, thank you. A few cashews to nibble on for protein. I would like it to show me which character number it is.
Hello text effects, you're being very brave. It would be very helpful for the friendly detectives if using these dolls, you showed us what Dobbs made you do. Take your time.
Character 5 and character 12. Okay, that's that one. And then like that one. Huh. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay. Welcome, NGQ. Hope you are well. It was an excellent owl quest last night. I had a wonderful time. .5. Okay, what about this? Okay. That pauses that does not show the character right after the text. That's good. That's good. Okay. Okay. I'm gonna revert to something I was trying earlier. There was this one thing I didn't like about it. But maybe it would be okay. Well, what if we just do this? There I go again. Yeah, it's fine. If I say visibility is based on whether or not we are waiting. If we are waiting, then hide it. Oh, sorry. Because we're waiting on the other one. Ah. Dang, that was close. That was close. Okay. Okay, this is good though. Okay. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna say if we are currently waiting, hide it, but it's not just waiting, we're waiting and processed indices dot. Is there a dot last? Godot array. Let me see what the array functionalities are. GameCube. That's a lot of characters there. Oh, it's Python-like. So we can just say sub -1. Is this what we want? Yes, okay. Good job, Al. I think we might have cracked the code. So we're gonna say I need to scoot this to the side. I might want to disable those media buttons. Standing in front of your wall. Oh, you don't own that one. I've heard it's not a very good one out of the Harvest Moons. I had Harvest Moon 64, and I've heard that one is not super well remembered, but I enjoyed it. Probably because I owned it as a kid. That's all it takes. Let's do this. Let's pause before each dot. And I decided that time is number of frames. No, number of milliseconds. Now a 3-second pause. So if I do like that, that should be a 3-second long pause. So let's test it. We're expecting to see a pause before each of the 3 dots. So pause, dot, pause, dot, pause, dot. Then a 3-second pause after the exclamation mark, and then a smiley face. Two, 3. You know what? I think that is pretty good. Now, the code behind it is a bit of a hack. We're using some global variables that would do some really weird stuff if, for instance, we had to have multiple text boxes on the screen that both use pauses. So let's just hope that never happens. But that is done. It is actually working. Didn't need to sanitize block at all. Cool. We got a working pause system. Now we actually need to draw something because, I mean, what happens when you got a text box up, right? Once you reach the end of it, you get a little, there's always a little symbol, you know? A little waiting for you to push a button. You can push a button. Go ahead, please. So let's make one of those. I've never played a Dragon Quest. What is this going to be? A little cog, a little hourglass. What are we thinking? it a little, let's do a little cog. It's just nice to have little gears, you know? That's probably not a great number of teeth, though. Aim for like 8. Earthbound. Now there's a game. Why are we just making Earthbound? So why am I putting so much effort into this? Only to like almost intentionally make it look extra hand-drawn. Go. Just a little bit of a shortcut there. Center point, gotta have it. Absolute must have. They're all 9 letters. All Pokemon have 9 letters in their name. That is just a fact. That's a losing move, Hovercat.
Oh, yeah. I don't do that anymore.
You guess a letter, and you're just inviting anyone else to just swoop in and take it immediately.
True.
Oh no, Al. A critical blunder. I'm just gonna get a little red color in here for now, and then we'll replace it with kind of like the scribbly edges of the color here, but it's not gonna show up if I make it all small like that. Like it's endearing, you know. A little bit of a crayon-y sort of thing going on. Yeah, I think that's nice. Sand slash. All right, so now we can lock in the color. Do a nice low opacity. What? Let me check. That seems okay. Rusty shading here. I really want it to look all rusty, but kind of going over it with like a dark blue here. cool little shading color here. Gives a really nice rusty effect. Some Star Wars edition. Yum. What, the Star Wars edition Oreos? And then we want to get maybe a brighter, kind of a yellowish orangish color. Oh, that's right, the Star Wars campaign. That's a little bit too much. Let's go down to 10% opacity. We're just gonna kind of splash this a little bit with a little bit of extra color here. There we go. I think that's passable. Like more than enough. Like that's honestly, that's too much detail to spend on this. If we took this and added a stroke effect of black to thicken the line here. Oh, here we go. Yeah, look at this. Okay, so that's our start, and then we give it a nice chunky outline. Oh, that's more like it. It was so weird. He was like, "Hi, I see you're playing Dungeons and Dragons with your friends. Are you interested in joining my Dungeons and Dragons game?" All right, let's say I was. That is not the time to ask. What a weird interaction. I'll be referencing Star Wars campaign for years. We know how to beat a dead horse. Let's try different. Can we make this a little bit nicer? Oh, look at that. Look at that. There's an icon right there. Total icon. Star Wars 5e, there you go. All right, so take that. We're a mess. We are an awful, convoluted slurry of inside jokes. It's awful. All right, let's just throw this on the desktop for now. All right. Where did that one land? Oops, I saved it as a Photoshop document. I meant to save it as a ping. Got it. And now we can just add that. We're gonna put that in dialog box folder. All right, this is a pet peeve of mine with Godot. If you drag an item from any location, desktop, file explorer, anything, and then you release it on a folder or file or something, and then let go, it instead puts it in whatever folder is currently selected. Very peculiar. Just gotta learn to work with the warts of the system. All right, let's add that to our dialog box. Just plop it on here. That is huge. Xbox, as some would say. Oh, look at that. That's looking like a real... Okay, we want it to dance around, of course. Like, that's a no-brainer. So we're gonna add an animation player and give it a little animation. Move this. Boop. that's just the level up. No. Pass. No. First boss music. It was so as just a comparison, I was looking at the old posts around Bug Fables, which was another paper-like game that was independently created. I personally really enjoyed it. It was weird to see they had been like working on the game. They didn't go into detail on what that meant, but working on the game for like 3 years before really showing progress online. At which point it was like, all right, now we're opening up the Kickstarter, Indiegogo, ran for a month, and then like a year and a half later, the game was done. But the posts after that point where they'd been working on it for like 3 years was, okay, now we've just finished the chapter 1 area. And then like weeks later, okay, now we finished the chapter 2 area. It's like, what was the first 3 years? Was that just engine work? I'm worried that there's something I'm really not thinking about. Because it's like, I've got in my head a pretty good idea of how the engine should work. I mean, it could just be that the modern engines that we're using for building an RPG engine are a lot more sophisticated. But I don't know. I'm like worried that there's going to be some major thing I'm going to find. Be like, ooh. We're going to call this animation Gear Dance. That's a good point. That's a good point. Building a game is a small part of building a game. It's the only part that interests me. Is building the game. I just want to build the RPG engine. It's like actually building content and 100 enemies is like, yeah, that could be fun, but not as fun as building out status effects. Now we're talking. 100 of something. Gosh, I love 100 of something. Okay, gear. We need its position. No, not 3D. Well, I guess it'll have to be 3D. Position. Oh, right. Okay. So how do I guess properties. Position. I can't do them both. I have to do just position. No, actually, I don't even want position. I think I just want rotation and scale. For now, at least. That's what we'll try. Rotation. I wish there was a better way for adding these. Let's make it a little 2-second animation. Give it cubic interpolation. Make sure it does loop. Make sure it autoplays. Where was loop? I can never remember where the button for looping is on the. Oh, here we go. Oh, gosh, I do love my spreadsheets. With a particular set of skills. All right, transform, rotation, scale. And then reverse that. Put that here and here, and then duplicate these. Here. All right, let's see what that looks like. Hey, that looks like a video game. I mean, it's supposed to not show up until we get to the end of the text box, but look at that. Yeah. That's a real thing. Maybe all that shading wasn't for nothing. That actually reads pretty nicely. Yeah, neat. Godot's animation system is growing on me. I'm getting a little bit more confident with it. It's really nice for just really quickly making something do a thing. You know, that's as best I can phrase it. Okay. Now, oh boy, it's about to get messy. We're about to have to really dig in here. Okay, what do we want to handle next? I guess the next thing is we're going to handle making the icon only show up when we get to the end of a block of text where the user can actually do a thing. So let's see. We're gonna have on our dialog box code advance icon is what we're gonna call this, is a sprite. Yeah, sprite 2D. Gotta specify. And when this loads up, we're gonna set that equal to gear icon. And also we're gonna say advanced icon dot viz. Okay, what do we have here? What can we work with? Visible, just visible. Is that a thing? Is that a thing that exists? Seems okay. Yeah, all right, so it's not shown by default. When we start, it doesn't show. Then we are going to wait until, there's an excellent function for this, or there's an excellent property for this. Number of visible characters is one of the ways you can work with the how many characters to display, but another one is visible ratio, which is just a 0 to 1, and 1 represents you're showing the entire thing. So we're gonna say if we're showing all characters and current remaining pause is non-positive, then we're going to show the icon. That should be enough for this much. Okay, so it's not shown. It's not shown. 3-second pause. Smiley face. And there it goes. Icon shows up. Good. Next thing to test is what if the last thing in the text is a pause? I don't think that's going to work. I think we have to include at least even a space after it. Yeah, okay. Because otherwise, this is effectively an empty text. Yeah, it didn't pause at all. It just showed it right away. So yeah, that's noteworthy. Okay, the next thing is advancing text. We got to make it so that when one line of text is gone, the next one starts. This is a kind of long block of text. If it all goes well, it should take up a solid 3 lines so that we can test with a full page of text screen at once. Let's speed this up temporarily by a factor of 10. Ooh, Uh-oh. Oh no. Did anybody see that? Did anybody see what I just saw? Slow that down a little bit. Oh, that's... I don't like that at all. It starts filling up the line, and then when it gets to a certain spot and realizes it can't fit, it throws it onto the next line of text. That's... probably not worth getting a headache over right now. I think Bug Fables actually does that as well. It's meh. I'm not a huge fan of that happening, and I hope we can fix it. I don't have a great way to do it yet. Bad cat. I want to move this down a little bit. I want that open part to be visible. Yeah, like that. Okay, so now we need to get the text to... what would look nice? I want to scroll up. I want the whole thing to push up and be masked. Can I mask it? Oh, I don't want... Ooh. I don't want this itself to be scrolled up. Let me grab a lorem ipsum. Text real quick. I'm very interested in what happens when text gets too long. Scroll active. Oh, I see the scroll bar, yep. Scroll following. Yeah, let's just try some things out. And I want to really speed this up now. That's almost okay as long as we hide the scroll bar. Because maybe what we can get away with doing is like just throw in some, whenever you hit advance, we just throw in some new lines to scroll things up, even though there's nothing to show. And then once everything is off screen, then we wipe the slate and start the next block of text. It seems super smooth. Is there a way we can offset where the text is drawn? Like, let's just say we have just just our three sample lines of text here. Auto wrap mode, word smart. We're gonna have to turn off all the mouse input at some point, because right now it still accepts mouse inputs. Markup, no. Threading. Text selection, no. Displayed text, that's gonna do its thing. Don't even know what. Okay, so control visibility. Visibility. Can I? Make text go up. Go scroll text away. I don't know. Scroll text. You can set the V scroll on a rich text label. Max value will never be reached. Okay. All right, so let's try this. And not scroll following? What does that do? Ah, okay, okay. So if we hide the scroll bar, could I animate? Ooh. Could I animate the vertical scroll property? All right, let's look up our rich text label object here. Rich text label. Scroll. Scroll active, scroll following. V scroll bar. Okay, so we can request this object. Okay, we can just hide it. That's good to know. And that we can... What can we do with the vertical scroll bar? It goes from top to bottom. Top being minimum, bottom being maximum range. Okay. Oh boy. We're gonna try something super dumb, I think. Animation player. We're gonna call the animation scroll out. And it's gonna do a property. The property is on the rich text label. It is the V scroll bar. I can't access that. Get V scroll bar. Why can't I? It's a method. It's only a method. Ah. Okay, so not an animation. We're gonna have to do it in code. Scroll bar is a V scroll bar. Get the scroll bar. And then scroll bar dot visibility. Visible, we can just say false right off the bat. Let's try that so far. Okay. Scroll bar is still visible. Can't help but notice. I wonder if that is something that gets reset as it scrolls. Yes, okay. So what if I just started setting this value? Goes from top to bottom, which is max. Let's just print out scroll bar dot max value. Okay, it does change as the text is filling out. That makes sense. Okay. So I don't think I can set it above the max value. So I would just set the value. Let's see what would happen if I just set scroll bar dot value equal to max value constantly. Yes, that is okay. That's as expected. Okay. Godot, rich text label, new line. Unable to put multiple, what? I'm gonna try something silly. After we set the value of the text, or actually, as we do that, I'm gonna add in a few new lines. And we're still gonna let it scroll down. Nice, okay, so yeah. So we can add some excess false new lines. Probably enough that we could make it scroll up, up, and away once we're done with it. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Don't mind me. Just a little bit of text. Except it's going to scroll away. Good. So now we're not going to do this. We're going to wait. And also we're going to get rid of this times 40 here. Well, I mean, I guess the 4 was the original here, wasn't it? Yeah. Just to get a normal speed. A decent speed. Okay, so what I want is if this is true, and okay, now we actually need input. I mean, we can swap this out later. But for now, we're just going to use the jump button. If we press the jump button while the advance icon is visible, then hide it. Actually, that's it for now. Take it a step at a time. Make sure things work. Oh, it only does it for that one frame. Funny, but I get it. We need a function. We need a new function here. Function, advance text. And what that's gonna do is, first off, it's going to hide our thing. It's going to set this stuff back to 0. Text block our current text block index equals 0. Ooh, we have to wait. After you press it, we have to wait while we're scrolling it away. So let's start a timer at that point. Yeah, let's just add a timer. I could add an actual timer object. Seems a little silly. Wait time, not 1 second. Let's say 0.2 seconds to start with. Advanced timer is a timer. Make sure we get the reference to that. And when we click on advanced text, we'll do all this stuff and start the advanced timer. And then I guess, I don't know how, I actually have not really worked with timers in Godot yet. I'm gonna try a few things here. We're gonna say if advanced timer is stopped, is processing? What is that? Set process. No, like what happened? What? Explain. Like when I start the timer. Oh boy. Description. Oh wait, this is node. I want the help for timer. Okay, so not is processing, obviously. Okay, start. Returns true if the timer is stopped. Okay, so I'm looking at is stopped. What is wait time then? Okay, time left. Wait time. Okay, that's what we set initially. So time left. I don't actually know. Does time left ever... All right, so we want to look at is stopped and time left. All right. If our timer is going, then just print the timer time left. I just want to see what this looks like. That's all I'm interested in is the values that we get here. Oh, cannot call what is advanced timer? Oh. Let's try it again. I think I was wrong. Oop, nope. Hello? How is this not? Oh, it's under rich text label dot. Okay, it's my mistake. Admittedly, a weird place to put it. No. This is... Huh. Okay, that's how you do it. That's how you reference it. Okay. Okay, timer is going to start after I push the button. Bow. There it goes. And it's... Oh, it's just looping. Oh, it's just looping. Is that a property I can mess with? One shot, maybe? Timer will stop when reaching 0. Okay, I misunderstood what one shot meant. Okay, so now when I do it, and I hit go, Yep, timer goes until it gets... Oh, and then it is stopped suddenly. Ah. Oh. Ugh. So I probably want to have some kind of... Okay. If it is not stopped, then it's not going to be at 0, is it? Like, that's just not a possible... Can it ever hit 0 exactly? That looks like a weird rounding error. I need a callback. That's what I need. How do I do that? Timer process callback. See timer process callback. Oh, this is a big one. This one feels like I want to get the browser up. All right, timer. How does the callback work? Update the timer during... No, what? No. I thought this would be like... I thought this would be something like I can do a callback, but no, it's an enumeration. Dang. Well, see, that's not great, because that just means that I can't tell the difference between the timer being stopped because I haven't actually run it yet. Oh wait, can I? Like, what if? Oh wait, no, it was definitely, yeah. Because it's not running at this time right now. So currently the timer is stopped, and then it will run and then stop again. Oh, but time left will be positive. Okay, so... So all I need to worry about is if time left is equal 0. Like, is that good enough? Let's try that. Nope, it's doing it now. It's doing it now. Dang it. Godot timer end versus not started. How do I know that the timer's running? Yeah, not a fan of it. Not a fan of this whole timer business. This doesn't feel like what I wanted. Well, let's start with I think we do need another variable here. Is advancing. And this is just, are we swapping between blocks of text right now? Because if we are, then we don't want to allow this business about being able to turn the icon back on and advance the text while it's in the process of moving. It's like we could get the current time. Jack of all trades will be nice. Of getting basically a half a proficiency bonus in basically everything. That was the one I was eyeballing from level 1. I think that'll be good to have. I did grab a new spell. But getting the half proficiency bonus, it's a +1, which isn't much, but I get it on anything that I'm not proficient at, even like saving throws and stuff. So that'll be really good. It will eventually. Song of Rest was like, that's nice for everyone. That's a lot of extra HP on the board if we get into a situation where we're using short rests. Which, you know, that will happen at some point, but that'll just be kind of based on the event. That'll be adventure to adventure whether or not that comes up as much. All right, instead of doing this, let's just have a raw. Let's just do it raw. Advance timer, instead of being an actual timer, we're gonna delete that and just use a float to represent how much time is left. We're gonna say, oh, you know what? Let's actually run it pretty slow. Let's start with half a second. And advanced timer minus equals our delta time. I did see that, yes. I could see that working pretty well with Germdove's Sorcerer. I think it's the one that I thought might work, pair well with it. All right, so we're gonna take this advanced timer, subtract out how much time has passed to this frame, which is a delta. Actually, we'll only do that if we are advancing. No point otherwise. And if advanced timer hits 0, let's change this to start advanced text. And then complete advanced text for after the timer is done. And that's going to be, we're going to set this equal to the current text block index. And also say we are no longer advancing. And also, I guess these things need to happen here. Oh, wow. I mean, it could happen. Everybody's pulling for it. I know Dupu most of all. Seems to be very excited for things to go very wrong. And I don't blame him. Complete advanced text. We're going to try this as it is. I don't know if this is going to work. Okay. That worked. Better than I expected. It did advance the text after a short pause. Let's bump that up to 2.5 seconds. And while we are advancing, we're going to scroll text up with this scroll bar dot value plus equals like plus equals advanced bot number of milliseconds. Let's try it. It did zip up. I don't know if you saw that. Yeah, basically we just want to go to maximum value over the course of 2.5 seconds. So let's make that a variable here. Var total advance time is 2.5. Zip. And that way we'll do it as a function here. We'll take the advanced timer, which is how much time is left. Subtract that from total advance time so that it starts at 0 and works its way down, and multiply that by scroll bar dot max value. And that should stretch it out to the full 2.5 seconds. That felt a little bit fast still, but that could be because of how much of this there is. So let's temporarily just add in a little bit of indication on our new lines here. Right. Yeah, that's why. Yep. That was why did it pause for so long there? Why did it pause for so long there? Oh, because I'm doing plus equals instead of setting equal to, I think. That's still stuck there for a while. Is advancing. All right, let's just have a print line here. Print out that scroll bar value when we get to that. It's got several frames where it's just sitting there at 39. Why is that? Why is that? Total advance time minus it. Oh. Divided by total advance time. No, that's still stuck there. Dang, what's going on here? What's the big idea here? All right, we can get rid of this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That was just to ensure I knew what I was looking at. Well, although then again, that does tell me that 4 is as well. No, because I want to make sure that 2 goes off the page, but which it does. So 6 is probably the correct amount for now. For when we've got lots of text. I know that one's gonna be fun, Dupu. Why isn't that one 6? Let's print advanced timer as it's scrolling. Okay, that did take a full 2.5 seconds. Good. So now, next, let's try this. I should see this go from a ratio of 0 to 1. And go. 0, 6, 7, 8, 9, 1. And then it stops. Okay, that looks fine. Scroll bar dot max value. What is scroll bar dot max value? This is just me not fully understanding. Oh, right. You need explicit casting to a string. You gotta cast it. You have to say that you want to cast it. No, you know that I want it to be a string. 270. Whoop. Oh. Oh. 94, 270. Why does it stop? All right, I need to look at scroll bar again, I guess. B scroll bar. Vertical scroll bar. Use to navigate through content. It's range based, yep. Goes from top, min, to bottom, max. Direction is the opposite of V sliders. Okay, it's based on a range object. But why is it? Can I? Ooh, if true, value may. Can I set that? Can I set that? Hold on, that could be really good. Because what if I didn't even need this? Okay, it scrolled a little bit. But it actually only scrolled to the maximum, which is fine. What if instead of this, plus equal, I don't know, delta times 1,000 divided by 4. I can make it scroll. Okay, I need to make sure I scroll it back. Oh, that means I don't have to do the dumb thing. I can manually tell it that I'm allowed to scroll it past the maximum. Ah, you see. Oh, this is something. Okay. Have to set this each frame because reasons. Actually, maybe I don't anymore. Oh, I love that. It scrolls very cleanly. I'm not a. I would love to be able to, like, mask it. And I just suddenly had a terrible vision of just basically putting a rectangle over the top of the text area so that it would do that. We might do that. Maybe there's some margin or padding property we can do instead. Don't look at me that way, Dufu. Okay, so I don't have to set this anymore because we're not actually doing this false scrolling. All that stuff about a huge block of new lines, That was just so I could scroll it. Now I found we can just tell the scroll bar that we're allowed to scroll anyway. Don't look at me like Doofu, Mac. Okay, so now... Oh, actually, let's do this. New line, line 2, new line, line 3. Okay, so we can go a lot quicker. Let's try half a second. Oh, he knows it. Oh, he knows it. Okay, that was a little too soon for the speed, which we could get by with just speeding it up slightly. We're just gonna mess with some numbers to taste.
11111111111.
You 1111111. Did you want it to do the quadrillions? Mine doesn't do that for reasons, I guess. Yeah, I did. I kind of do want it to wait a little bit now that I'm trying this out. That half a second is... Didn't I jot down some notes here? 20 frames scroll up, 5/16 frames blank. 6 frames. So let's go for not 0.5, let's say 0.7. We've got the speed of it. That seems all right. Whew. Okay, we have made it so that we can have pauses in text. Al's internet stink. We still need to make it so we can actually point, like do a little text bubble tail to whoever is talking, and then maybe override their animation with some kind of talking animation. That'll be its own weird thing. We'll see how that goes. I guess we do need to have... We need to make the text bubble appear and then disappear when it's done. These little cinematic things are going to be complicated. Because you're typically going to have, like, okay, I want this character to say these few pages of text, then walk over here, and then say these few pages of text, and then this other character to say this thing, and then camera to pan out, and then for this text to appear, and then for this sprite to spawn. Like, cinematic stuff is going to be involved. But I need to make sure that I'm catering to the 99% of the cases, which is just walk up to an NPC, press A, they say a few lines, and then that's it. That's the entirety of it. That should technically fall under the purview of cinematic. It's just it'll be a very simple case of it. So it needs to be the easiest to set up. It's okay if the big ones are big. How the scripting, pure Dobbs intuition, trademark, off the cuff, seat of my pants. Double pure. Brilliant. Okay, so this is good. So far, this is very good. We don't want the dialog box to initially be visible on the UI. Beautiful. So I think on the UI layer is where we're going to do the... No, is it? Is the UI layer where we're going to actually animate the dialog box and everything? So some code somewhere, and it shouldn't matter where, is going to pass a function. The parameters. I want this actor, which it'll do that in the form of a character body most likely. I want this actor to say these lines of text. And what that function should queue up is the full process of dialog box appears, text is interactable with the buttons, scroll through, hold to scroll faster, tap to continue to next page. Then it fades out, and that should be the end of that function. At that point, another dialog box can pop up if we want to chain a few together. So how does that where does that function live? Is that on the UI, or is that specific to dialog box itself? Oh, we're gonna have to calculate where in the flat screen space should this tail be pointing to based on the three-dimensional position of the character. That's gonna be its own thing. Oh, the tail. The tail. Okay, since the dialog box script itself contains this, it probably should not contain this much for the ready function. That should be when you start a text block. Let's try putting it in here for now. It's relevant code. Show dialogue, and that accepts text pages, which is a list of strings, and optionally the actor, the character body that is doing the things. We'll do that. Then we will do this. The process business should only happen when this thing is active, right? So maybe we also have a property to represent whether or not this whole thing is active. And by default it is not until you tell it to show dialogue, at which point we're likely gonna pause and wait until some animation finishes. But for now we'll just say, yeah, go for it. But all of this stuff, that is only going to happen while we are active. And this is if current text block index is less than text blocks dot size, then we actually do this. Otherwise, no more text, play animation, and inactivate. Okay, so that's to do. So we need to call this show dialogue from somewhere. Let's just start with a test button. Let's just make a button. Input map. We're just gonna have a debug action, and to access it, we press 6. Great, cool. We're gonna throw that on the character body for now. If we press the debug button, then UI global dot do a thing. I feel like we might want to wrap this. So we're gonna have the dialog box is a control node. Go. And that's and then we're gonna wrap our show dialogue here so that we can just access it from here. We're just gonna say dialog box dot show dialog. There we go. And that's just gonna be a little pass through so that I don't have to worry about where it is in the tree. It's just the script is gonna manage that. This is a test. And then on a new page, only a test. Pause. Probably. Actor is the main character itself for now. This will let us test some things. We should have some property that controls whether or not things like character movement can happen. Like once you talk to something, the main character should not be moving at all. Other background characters may still be patrolling around. I think that's very reasonable and good. Like if you're in a crowded city street and there's lots of things moving around, we shouldn't have everyone stop just because you're talking. Okay. This might, I mean, we can probably test this much at least. Oops. Okay. That default pause is way too quick. Dialog box. I need to go back over to here and say that dialog box by default is going to not be visible. Or no. It will be visible, but it will be transparent. The whole shebang, not just the rich text label. The whole dialog box. So let's do an animation for that then. Add child node, animation player, and we can reverse it when we're done. So we need it to zoop, zoop. Pop it. I think we can just reverse it. So we want to animate on the modulate color as well as the scale. Position. Probably also the position. And this one's gonna be weird, isn't it? Because if I want it to pop out from where the character is, then that initial one is gonna be weird. Yeah, haha. Oh wait, I think I can get around that. By only setting. Actually, I don't know. We'll try some things. We're still not 100% there on figuring this out. Okay, so maybe a half second is appropriate. In which case, dialog box, positioning. This is going to be, this is, there we go, there we go. And then at time 0, we're going to have a scale of tiny, a position, where was the middle of this? Right here? There were 2 from there, 1 from there. I'm seeing a problem. Ha ha ha, ha 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 ha. Circuit. $1,600. So 800 is the center point here. Okay. Oh. I see. Oh. Yeah, because I don't want to move just that. Okay. Yep. So current size is 1/5 of that. 80. No, 320. So 640 should be the center point. Here we go. Okay, this position will depend, but scale at 0.2 is good for this. And modulate is visibility, modulate, transparent. Okay, that looks good. And then when we play it, cool, and then that looks great. It's not an autoplay. Cheap beach. So dialog box itself, when we show dialogue, we're gonna play that animation. So we're gonna get our animation player. Do that in the ready to set it equal to the animation player itself. And the way you do this, you have to say .play and then the name of the animation, I believe. Okay, so when I press 6, Okay. Now, we didn't see it type in. Probably because it started while it was in the process of doing that animation. And we can get around that. Maybe if we do like this. Yeah, that's why. It's because it's already starting while it's pulling in. We're gonna get around that. To do is active after animation done. Actually, can we do something on that? Can we do some kind of callback when an animation finishes? Deprecated. All right, maybe not. Cool. Okay, Godot for animation callback finished. There's a few different ways you can do it. You can hook up the signal animation finished that emits a signal with the name of the animation. Or you can execute code right in the animation player and just put it at the end of the animation. Can you now? Red coin. Oh, Tupu. Oh, Tupu. You thought. There it is. Okay, we'll do this in a bit. All right, so when we are done, play animation and activate. I want to play the pop-in animation in reverse, which means custom speed -1 from end true. Let's try that. Okay, it still scrolls away the final one. Can we fix that? How do we normally do this start advanced? It's the is advancing. That's it. So I want to do advanced icons, visible toss, yes. Advanced timer, no. So I want to say if the current text block, so we're the second text block, which is text block 1, if that equals text block.size -1, then we're at the last one. In which case, immediately call complete advanced text. Otherwise, go ahead and just bump up that advanced timer. Let's see if that works. A test. Only a test. Yeah, that worked. Yeah, strawberry jam is a distant memory at this point. I should just get that one out of the rotation and replace it with every Super Mario Odyssey moon that I keep threatening to add into the minigame. Kirby enemies could be an interesting one, maybe. I feel like they're obscure enough. Replace it with the secret cat. Just make it a very common one. Secret cat is just too secret. Okay, so that works. That looks great, honestly. Okay, is active. I don't want this to start until... I don't want it to be is active until this animation is done. How can I do that? How can I do that? I mean, one thing I could do is replace is active with just a timer. More timers. timers. I guess maybe I could just say is active and animation player is not playing. Like, animation is done playing. Hey, all right. That, honestly, yeah. Oop. But then, when I'd say it again, we need to do some cleanup, it looks like. So when we close, let's have a close dialogue function. I am terribly inconsistent on my casing. I just don't know what is expected in Godot, so I've just been doing everything. I'm just combining everything. So when you set it up, I guess some of this stuff here should be moved to show to this. Let's try that. That might be what was missing. This is a test. Only a test. And then when I pull it back up, this is a test. And then it disappears. What's going on there? It doesn't give me the second one. What variable do we think is doing that? It's obviously hitting closed dialogue. Current text block. Current text block index. We need to start it out at 0. Because we're going to be hitting this function multiple times. Okay, so now when we pull it back up. Yay. Oh, that's wonderful. Okay. We have a pretty smooth animation there. Now for the tricky part, which has been, that's the running theme. Now the tricky part. So we've progressed tonight from just we have a text block that's there. We got it properly scrolling with pausing as necessary. We've got the animation playing out to scroll it off screen to start the next page of text. Now we've got it where it fades in and out. The next part is I want to give it a little tail. I want to give it a little speech bubble tail that points at whoever is talking. I'm not expecting this to be easy. Believe it or not. I think I've got a decent idea for it. We just need an image. That we can rotate and kind of point at something. So here we have the theme color that I can grab. I think somehow that's in here is like a shadowy font color, font outline color. No, where did I do that? Layout? No. No. What is controlling? Oh, wait. It's the shared dialogue box thing. Here we go. There it is. That's where the color lives. The border color. That's it. So we could use this as a modulate. Yeah, let's just get a triangle to start with. Not huge.
Hi.
Hi, Deadlands. Always a pleasure. Always so
Hi.
good to be greeted. We're gonna make this completely white because I want to use the modulation code so that we can easily change the color later. Whoop. I crashed it. Hello? What's up? Photoshop is having a little bit of trouble. That is a little bit of trouble. We'll reopen it. There we go. Okay, basically that. We're making a game, Dead Bones. Okay, that should be good. That looks decent. Now we will delete the background, save that image. I am making a game I've been wanting to make for a while. I've been wanting to make a game in the style of the early Paper Mario games. A low damage scale turn-based RPG with an emphasis on strategy and a little bit of planning ahead. I just really enjoyed that growing up, and I want to try to make my own. So that's what we're gonna do. Oh, it's okay. Yeah, it's fine. So this needs to be there, and then we need to. We'll try curving this later. Okay, so now we need visibility. I need to open this back up again. This color right here. Slate to that color. Perfect. Okay, so the idea, is that we are going to rotate this. Is there a way I can change the rotation? There's not. There's not a way I can change the rotation type. no rotation point. What I have to do instead is create a node that contains that and offset that. Is that Latin? That is Willow. This is it is like the middle of a long stretch of Latin text. Yeah, we all know Latin here. It is commonly called lorem ipsum. It's basically meaningless. Like, it can be translated, but no one cares about it. It is just, for some reason, I don't know how it happened, but at some point in history, people that do typesetting and laying out text decided, like, this is the placeholder text. Because it's long, it's got a lot of short words and a lot of long words. So whenever people are laying out, like say, like a magazine page or something, and they just need a big block of text to see how something looks, they use lorem ipsum. There's actually a great website that, well, I guess if you just Google lorem ipsum, every result there will go into detail about the history. But yeah, it's just placeholder text. The new lorem ipsum is going to be the Yoshi egg copy pasta. I mean, lorem ipsum, as weirdly well known as it is in some circles, is completely unheard of in others. And I love getting to actually like explain it to someone for the first time, because it's fascinating. That's like a real thing. It's just like everyone has decided this Latin gibberish is going to be what we all use as the de facto layout text when we're placing text on a page. That's crazy. Never knew what it was. Yeah, it's lorem is actually like half of a word. Like this placeholder text starts in the middle of a Latin word, so it is very gibberishy in that aspect. I don't know how that ended up happening, but it's a fun little tidbit for you. Okay, so what I want to do is move this node. Move this node. Move this node. There we go. This is gonna be the anchor. Okay, so now when I rotate this, yeah, there we go. A little silly, but it works. Oh, well then it's a good thing that we got Bug Fables OST playing on loop. Now let's change it to another, since we've been listening to this one for so long. This is the cooking music from Bug Fables, the first cooking music. Okay, that gets old quick. Okay, that just sounds like RuneScape. Golden Lands, there we go. Oh, got to finalize the music for a wedding I'm going to be playing in later this month. Not only is Dire Dire Docks making the cut, but also Lost Woods from Ocarina of Time. Which that one I've never played in a wedding before, because that's an unusual song, but you can pretty up anything and make it sound nice. Dire Dire Docks is good, yeah. Okay, so what we want to do is, let's see here, stem container. When we are told to show a dialogue, that's a node 2D. We want to set the rotation. Oh, I don't know, actually. I guess that doesn't need to be that big either. 20 seconds once every 2 days. Isn't that fun? Yeah. Okay. All right. We need to learn some Godot magic here. Get screen coordinates. How to position node 2D in screen coordinates. Screen position of a, no, how to transform screen position to, from 3D. Get a 3D position, 3D object's position on screen. Yes. Camera has a method for this called unproject position. Unproject position. Okay, let's find that. Okay, and that means I'm going to need... That means I need the camera. I mean, there should only be one camera. So, node dot font dot get. Godot. Get node by type. I don't have a great way to do this. This is going to be very weirdly. Because the UI doesn't really know about the camera. And it really shouldn't. Wait. Get viewport, get camera. Is this a thing? Get viewport dot get camera 3D. Okay, that might do it. Cool. Well, that's great. That's wonderful. Link, so good to see you. Oh, we're gonna have to do a little bit of Arctan. I think I can get rid of my drawing pad for now. I think we're done with that for tonight. Let's just get it out of the way while we puzzle this out. So we have the expected position. I need to be careful about using position of the stem because it's going to be in the middle of an animation. And so I'm instead gonna maybe use a hard-coded, this is where the stem's anchor is. Or maybe I can use, no, it's the whole dialogue box that gets animated, isn't it? That'll be a tricky one. Well, let's at least do print. Let's try this camera business. Unproject position. World point is actor dot position. Yeah. All right. Cool. Let's see what that does. What do we get? That looks good. 800, 552. If I walk around, it'll still be 800, 552, won't it? Yeah, because it's following the player precisely. Okay, but still. And I'm pointing from about wherever this is. 1024, 224. All right. Var target x equals target coordinate equals this here, which is in the form of what's the file type or the class type here? What does this present me with? A vector2. Of course, it's vector2. I should have known that. So we're gonna take that. Var angle equals, or stem angle equals nope, a tan two, okay, no prefix. Y is gonna be target coordinate dot y minus some hard-coded value for now, don't worry about it. Okay, and I'm probably gonna be off by a quarter, like 90 degrees in some direction, but let's see if this looks vaguely right. Okay, that went off that way. Do I take it that this rotation needs to be, let's see, rotation, radians. Okay, and what, pray tell, are we getting as that stem angle? Are we getting degrees? What does a tan 2 spit out? Radians, okay. Well, then that should be about right. 2.16. I should print this and this. Target coordinate X, and then print out the angle. See what we get. Okay. Target coordinate Y. Difference of 328. Sounds reasonable. And that 224. Okay, yeah, that's okay. So it's flipped, right? It's just vertically flipped. So we just want to switch Y value to negative, and then we're golden. Where is it? Oh, it's pointing entirely opposite by 180 degrees now. Don't like that. Don't like that at all. How did that happen? Okay, add pi. No. Something else is wrong here. Something else, but I'm not sure what. I don't like that it modulates everything individually. Weirdly enough, Paper Mario also modulates its stem and bubble individually. It should be pointing, I would assume, at the feet of this little guy here. If I were smart, I would say, instead of going to self, go to something else. Something that we can actually move around. Thank you, Al. Oh wait, no, I could just move the camera out. There we go. Okay, it is trying to point. That is good. It is trying really hard. Let's take out this plus pi. Let's take out this negative business. And let's just experiment with this a little bit. There. Okay. This is definitely just off by pi over 2. Oh, maybe that's all it is right now. Add pi over 2. Subtract pi over 2. I told you I was off by 90 degrees. Oh. Hey. Okay. One last thing. Target coordinate. I want to set that as the position of the actual thing here. Set position equal to target coordinate. Let's just see if this works. No. It's still coming in from the top left. Oh, maybe because of that? Maybe because I'm doing this in this order? No. Yeah, because right now it's not animating the position, it's only animating it to something. Oh, is that just going to be whatever this starting is, maybe? No, surely not. Yeah, I want it to come from the player. That's my goal here. That's probably gonna have to be something for tomorrow night off stream. But I'm satisfied with what we got here. Feels pretty good, honestly. Like, even if it's not 100% there, it's... That's huge progress for one night. Pointing to a thing. It always it's gonna point to, I guess, the center of the character, which for smaller characters is fine, or characters off to the left or right, it's fine. But when you get kind of close to this, that's a bit of a problem. So we may dynamically scale the stem. Good about it. All right, so that we solved like 3 or 4 of our 1 million problems. I think that's pretty good. All right, plan for streams upcoming. I think Wednesday. We might stick with this for a bit. As long as I'm feeling motivated for it, I need to cash in on that motivation and earn progress for it. Actually, I think Zote's power's out, and I don't know how long that's going to be out for. That was weather related. So Minecraft may not even be on the table for a bit. And if so, that's a perfect excuse to get a lot of work done on this. I did look into it, and custom fonts are very doable. I haven't checked as of this evening, but it might be. There's a whole like XML tag driven thing that controls like you basically just have a massive sheet of characters. Yeah, I think he was Mac. He's okay, but power's out. Custom font is definitely something I want to do, but I don't want to put too much effort into that early. But I think that would do wonders for making the game have the right feel. Additionally, for the right feel, we don't want to use just a rounded rectangle for the text box. We're gonna doodle a bubble. We're gonna doodle a text bubble. Probably a few different text bubbles. That was something that was very nice in Thousand Year Door, is that some major characters actually had different looking text bubbles. No, the plot important ones typically, like the final boss and the computer. And then you'd also have technically a different text bubble for signposts or the like. It's like you're talking to the signpost, and it still uses the same code as talking to someone, but it just has a different tag at the beginning. So instead of starting with just like a pause, where was our pause here? Like instead of having a pause tag, it would have like a signpost tag that would tell it. Yeah, it gives more emotions to the different characters. It just would have like a tag like this, which this one's gonna be a weird one because we're not gonna do that through text effect classes. The built-in BB code. That's instead going to just be a signal in the dialog box code, so that when it gets to show dialogue, we're going to specifically search for those and swap out the image appropriately with like a signpost, a text bubble, a computer screen, whatever makes sense. And I've got some fun ideas for how we can make some really cool different text bubbles. I'm excited for that too. But yeah, I think the obvious next goal from here is being able to talk to an NPC. Like right now, we pull up a text bubble when I hit a specific button on the keyboard. I would like to walk over to an NPC, press a talk button, and then have that NPC have things to say. There is so much foundational work before we actually build a game. This is it. This is the million problems. It's like we still have to build a combat system, guys. We can't even think about balance for months. We have to build first we have to build a system to walk around and talk to people before we even think about building a battle system. Oh man, we'll probably actually build a rudimentary one. Not too far into the process, just something along the lines of enter a battle, exit a battle. What's even a battle? That doesn't even exist. There's no such thing as battles. Everybody, thank you so much for hanging out. I have so much fun doing this kind of stuff. This is look at that lovely stalactite of a text in. We'll maybe we'll kind of curve it a bit at some point. We'll see. Let's see here. Willow, thank you for the gift sub over to Sourdough. Sourdough, thank you for the. I mean, follows are anonymous. Forget I said anything. And everybody else, thank you for just hanging out for a good conversation. I really enjoy it. This is what I like doing. This is not something that I think I would ever enjoy doing for a living, because then I would have to do it. But in this case where I can choose to work on these fun little problems, it's perfect. So we'll see if we can make an actual interesting, good game within the next few years out of this from humble beginnings. Take care. I will see you guys next time. Presumably, GermDove will be streaming tomorrow, so I'll probably be hanging out in chat for that. Have a good night. Have a good week. Goodbye.